I am happy to announce that I believe that we have a sister ministry in Restoration Ministries. And look them up on YouTube. And actually, not YouTube, plug them in. I found them by just plugging in Yahweh, and then different ministries came up, and it had Restoration Ministries, and they do a wonderful work. They have 24-hour TV, and every lesson I've listened to so far is 100% doctrinally accurate. So we send our blessings to them, and in the future we want to communicate, because in these latter days, that's what we are supposed to do. We recognize each other by our lifestyles and the doctrine that we keep. That is how we will know we are of the same. And it's all about the truth. So let me finish the scripture. Therefore, if anyone cleanses himself, see, we cleanse ourselves, but not in our own strength. We cleanse ourselves in the strength of Yahweh's Spirit. From the latter he will be a vessel for honor, sanctified and useful for the master, prepared for every good work. So here we see twice. We do the cleansing, that's a work. And why do we get cleansed? To do more work. Hello, people. Heaven is not a place where we just sit back and eat and get fat. There's a work to be done. I remember listening to one preacher long ago say, the first thing Yahweh did is to give Adam a job. His first job was to name all the creatures. He gave him a work to do. Work is holy, people. That's why the number one thing to do is to have a decent paying job. It's the number one thing that any government can do for its people. Don't get me started. Flee also youthful lust, but pursue righteousness. That means right standing with Yahweh. That means the law of Yahweh. Pursue the law of Yahweh. That's what righteousness is. Pursue faith, pursue love, pursue peace with those who call on Yahweh out of a pure heart. Please notice the order in which this is written. It is written in the order of importance. First things first. Pursue righteousness, which is the law of Yahweh. That is first. That is truth. Then pursue faith, and love is third. Love is third. And then finally, peace. So we are to be gentle to all, able to teach, patient in humility, correcting those who are in opposition. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verses 19 through 26. Please read it yourself. Gold, silver, and precious stones versus wood, hay, some scriptures say clay, and straw. This is the understanding of what Scripture says about these three symbols, actually 6 symbols, of the human spirit as it relates to our spiritual walk with Yahweh. Many in the true faith ask the legitimate question, is any one of the 7 annual holy days more significant or holy than the others? Most people would agree that Yom Kippur would most likely be, the Day of Atonement, would most likely be considered the most holy of the 7 annual celebrations. But I would argue that it is the Passover, which is by far the most important. In this lesson, I'm going to give you the first 7 reasons for my belief, and it will take us to a discussion as to the meaning of Passover. The first reason I believe that Passover is the most important, I didn't say the most holy, but the most important, in fact, it's probably the least holy of all the annual holy days, is it occurs in the first of the biblical year. Except for the Yahudim who are called out from the assemblies of the world, the devil's assemblies, those who consider themselves biological Jews in the Orthodox synagogues and Reformed synagogues across the world, they don't even pay attention to the biblical calendar. They call Yom Teruah the New Year because it's so festive and the blowing of the trumpets. But it's not the New Year. The New Year is when you see the green ears pop up on the barley in the ground, which was planted earlier. That new moon, that first sliver of the new moon, starts the countdown for the new year. And we are to be watchful for that new moon, no matter where we are on earth. Not to count on others to tell us that, but we're supposed to do that. So this goes to the whole theory of first, which is the second reason. Understand the importance Yahweh places on first. As you become more and more familiar with the scripture, an overriding theme runs through, which the apostles ran head on into it in a moment of pride and selfishness, arguing amongst themselves about who was going to be greater. And then they came to the Messiah and asked, "Can you sit me at your right hand and the others at the left?" And Messiah said, "I cannot do that, for it is to whom it has been prepared." Now, the office of the assembly, the highest office that one can hold, would be an apostle to Messiah himself. One might say the office of high priest, but actually Messiah is the high priest. So that negates any other human being holding that office. The point here being this, that while it is a higher office than the patriarchs were first. And as such, the first 12 seats given to the Sanhedrin, the leadership of the Holy Assembly. And we read about this in the book of Revelation. The 24 Sanhedrin, or elders. They're 24. 12 patriarchs, 12 apostles. But the 12 apostles are second, not first. This theory of first is very, very important. Just think about it logically for a second. If it did not exist, we would all think that one day we would have the right to sit in Yahweh's seat. Yahweh is Yahweh. Yahweh has no beginning, he has no end. He was the first of all the first. And the first of the begotten first was Yeshua, Messiah. As the Word was begotten, Yeshua was begotten. For he is the living Word. The Word become flesh, says the Word. So this theory of first is one which can be a whole lesson within itself, of course. But I just wanted to put that out there for you to study on your own and be prayerful. And look it up as you're reading through the stories of the Tanakh, and you'll see that first is the key. The lessons between Esau and his brother, between Jacob, and that all explains the theory of first and how important the firstborn were and why the firstborn were to be set apart for Yahweh, at least initially, before continued sin. The third reason is a Chinese proverb. What a Chinese proverb in a holy lesson. Remember what I shared with you earlier, and it's not just religion in the West. It is religion anywhere. Many people who didn't even know about Messiah and did not have the Torah scroll and no synagogue in their neighborhood are going to make it to heaven before many, many Christians, because they were true to the light that was shown on them in their lives. And they were humble, and they loved their neighbor as they loved themselves, without knowing that it was a commandment. Here's the Chinese proverb.